Yes, but we have enough. Let's read on. Probably I cannot finish. I have select too much.
Concealed firearms was enacted and crime was reduced soon afterward. Similar laws were passed in other frontier towns to reduce the rate of gun crime as well. As UCLA law professor Adam Winkler noted, carrying of guns within the city limits of a frontier town was generally prohibited. Laws barring people from carrying weapons were commonplace, from Dodge City to Tombstone. When Dodge City residents first formed their municipal government, one of the very first laws enacted was a ban on concealed carry. The ban was soon after expanded to open carry. 2. The Hollywood image of the gunslinger marching through town with two Colts on his hips is just that, a Hollywood image, created for its dramatic effect. 269. Tombstone, Arizona, was a turbulent mining town that flourished longer than most, from 1877 to 1929. 270. Silver was discovered in 1877, and by 1881 the town had a population of over 10,000. In 1879 the newly arrived Earp brothers bought shares in the Vizsla mine, water rights, and gambling concessions, but Virgil, Wyatt, and Morgan Earp obtained positions at different times as federal and local lawmen. After more than a year of threats and feuding, they, along with Doc Holliday, killed 3 outlaws in the gunfight at the OK Corral, the most famous gunfight of the Old West. In the aftermath, Virgil Earp was maimed in an ambush, and Morgan Earp was assassinated while playing billiards. Wyatt and others, including his brothers James Earp and Warren Earp, pursued those they believed responsible in an extra-legal vendetta, and warrants were issued for their arrest in the murder of Frank Stillwell. The Cochise County Cowboys were one of the first organized crime syndicates in the United States, and their demise came at the hands of Wyatt Earp. 271. Western storytellers and filmmakers featured the gunfight in many Western productions. 272. Walter Noble Burns's novel Tombstone, 1927, made Earp famous. Hollywood celebrated Earp's Tombstone days with John Ford's My Darling Clementine, 1946, John Sturgis's Gunfight at the OK Corral, 1957, and Hour of the Gun, 1967, Frank Perry's Doc, 1971, George Cosmatos's Tombstone, 1993, and Lawrence Kasdan's Wyatt Earp, 1994. They solidified Earp's modern reputation as the Old West's deadliest gunman. 273. Banditry. The major type of banditry was conducted by the infamous outlaws of the West, including Jesse James, Billy the Kid, the Dalton Gang, Black Bart, Butch Cassidy, Sundance Kid and the Butch Cassidy's Wild Bunch, and hundreds of others who preyed on banks, trains, stagecoaches, and in some cases even army government transports such as the Wampaymaster robbery and the Skeleton Canyon robbery. 274. Some of the outlaws, such as Jesse James, were products of the violence of the Civil War. James had ridden with Quantrill's raiders, and others became outlaws during hard times in the cattle industry. Many were misfits and drifters who roamed the West avoiding the law. In rural areas, Joaquin Murrieta, Jack Powers, Augustin Chacon and other bandits terrorized the state. When outlaw gangs were near, towns would occasionally raise a posse to drive them out or capture them. Seeing that the need to combat the bandits was a growing business opportunity, Allan Pinkerton ordered his National Detective Agency, founded in 1850, to open branches in the West, and they got into the business of pursuing and capturing outlaws. 275. There was plenty of business thanks to the criminals such as the James Gang, Butch Cassidy, Sam Bass, and dozens of others. 276. To take refuge from the law, outlaws would use the advantages of the open range, remote passes and badlands to hide. 277. While some settlements and towns in the frontier also house outlaws and criminals, which were called outlaw towns. 278. Banditry was a major issue in California after 1849, as thousands of young men detached from family or community moved into a land with few law enforcement mechanisms. To combat this, the San Francisco Committee of Vigilance was established to give drumhead trials and death sentences to well-known.
Yes, that's the Tombstone city there.
Was a turbulent mining town that flourished longer
And
than
then
most,
the
from
Civil War, I think,
1877
but got already too much. Duplicates. Oh, cannot do that. Duplicates. Tombstone, then the American Civil War. That's something probably super big. Civil War. Yes, that's more easy. I write it myself. I start to get tired, but we have a civil war somewhere here. I have to get my keyboard on the floor. Yes, sorry for interrupt. Probably have to do it. The hard duplicates. Civil War. Yes, but that's not Civil War in United States. Yes, American Civil War, we have to read about that. Yes, that was the North State and South State, I think, about the slavery. We need to do the slavery. Yes, the slavery in United States. But we could read about the history of slaves. But let's just duplicate this. Then slavery in United States. Yes, but now I have so many that I have like 40, and I don't like the computer to crash. Now let's try to finish this one. I will put my computer to sleep tonight. I'm not going to write all this down tonight. It's 11:30.
Members of the Dalton Gang after the Battle of Coffeyville in 1892 left Crawford Cherokee Bill Goldsby posing with his captors during a stop by train to Noliata, Oklahoma 1895. Left to right are #5, Zeg Crittenden, #4, Dick Crittenden, Cherokee Bill, #2, Clint Scales, #1, Ike Rogers, #3, Deputy Marshal Bill Smith. 279, right depiction of the hanging of Cherokee Bill on the 17th of March, 1896, as it was published by newspapers after his execution of Anders. As such, other earlier settlements created their private agencies to protect communities due to the lack of peacekeeping establishments. 280, 281. These vigilance committees reflected different occupations in the frontier, such as land clubs, cattlemen's associations and mining camps. Similar vigilance committees also existed in Texas, and their main objective was to stamp out lawlessness and rid communities of desperados and rustlers. 282. These committees would sometimes form mob rule for private vigilante groups, but usually were made up of responsible citizens who wanted only to maintain order. Criminals caught by these vigilance committees were treated cruelly, often hung or shot without any form of trial. 283. Civilians also took arms to defend themselves in the Old West, sometimes siding with lawmen, Coffeyville bank robbery, or siding with outlaws, Battle of Ingalls. In the post-Civil War frontier, over 523 whites, 34 blacks, and 75 others were victims of lynching. 284, however, cases of lynching in the Old West wasn't primarily caused by the absence of a legal system, but also because of social class. Historian Michael J. Pfeffer writes, contrary to the popular understanding, early territorial lynching did not flow from an absence or distance of law enforcement but rather from the social instability of early communities and their contest for property, status, and the definition of social order. 285.
Yes, need that short break. It's 11:30. We have to close the doors. It's very late. It's midnight and it's very quiet outside. We have to close the doors and windows. But I need to go to bathroom, so the video splits. But I think let's delete this Hartsen. We have to open that later. Now I have so much open. Let's delete the Hartsen. Yes, I think we should read the American Civil War. That's an important one. But I will look at this tomorrow. I have like, I don't know, 50, 40 web pages open there. Okay, now I did click this. We cannot continue. Okay, it's still working. But I need the bathroom, I need some cola. And then that was how many parts? That's 5 parts video. I think I will start to upload this, take a short break. And try to do it finish, then charge the camcorder a little bit. What should we do? Cola? No, let's do some lemonades. Let's copy this to my computer, this 5 parts, and charge the camcorder like 20 minutes. Then try to finish this, but I have to read it again later and go back. But if I'm going to read all these many hundreds of links, it could take many months. That will take many months to read. for going to read about all this different kind of Indian wars and Indian tribes and states and gangs and gunfighters and cities, all what's mentioned. That will take many months. Yes, I will take a short break, start upload this and charge the camcorder.